wrestlers' bodies are consistently evolving and changing to keep up with the rigors of being on the road for over 300 days a year and working multiple times a week. So let's check out 10 wrestlers that went through a body transformation this year. Before the Firefly Funhouse and The Fiend graced our TV screens, there was a very real likelihood that Bray Wyatt's WWE career was on the verge of coming to an end. After a terribly short run as WWE Champion and a painful loss to Randy Orton at WrestleMania, it felt like Wyatt was done as a top-tier talent. After a brief feud and alliance with Matt Hardy, the former leader of the Wyatt family was gone from programming altogether, but then he returned, and what a return it's been. The Firefly Funhouse has been the best part of WWE for months, with Wyatt being treated as an elite player. He has taken his character work to a whole new level, yet that isn't all that has changed. Wyatt went through quite the physical transformation, as during his time away he spent almost all of it at the gym. Wyatt lost a ton of weight and replaced it with lean muscle. His shoulders and arms are massive, and he's lost a ton of weight around his stomach. His new frame was first on display when he did the Muscle Man dance. Then when The Fiend made his debut at SummerSlam, Wyatt manhandled Finn Balor, treating the inaugural Universal Champion like a paperweight. In addition to getting super fit, Wyatt also got a fresh haircut and trimmed up his beard, which has him appearing as a more refined version of Braun Strowman, to be honest. Rusev is currently embroiled in the trashiest storyline WWE's put out in a while, but is making the most of it while his real-life wife makes out with the almighty Bobby Lashley on a weekly basis. Say what you will about the feud, Rusev has been more relevant now than he has been in a long time. The storyline may not make for the greatest TV ratings, but fans are eating it up on YouTube. At the turn of the year, Rusev's feud with Nakamura ended up with them teaming, so that they could be irrelevant together. This would result in Rusev going on hiatus for a few months before eventually returning in September to decimate Mike Kanellis on Raw. Rusev has been dropping weight for a while, but he seemed even leaner when he returned. Perhaps what stood out the most was that Rusev was sporting a mustache. Rusev is also rocking a stubble as well. Coupled with the leaner look and the pretty cool suits, the Bulgarian Brute has undergone quite the transformation this year. If only this would lead to an actual push. Dustin Runnels made his pro wrestling debut back in 1988 for Championship Wrestling from Florida, but is arguably putting in the best work of his in-ring career right now at the age of 50, some 30 years after his debut. Runnels is best known for his run as Goldust in WWE despite successful runs on the independent scene and promotions like WCW and Impact Wrestling. He made his debut for AEW at Double or Nothing in a marquee match against Cody. Runnels has now signed a multi-year deal with the company, so he's going to be sticking around for a while. Over the last few years, he has gotten a second win primarily thanks to DDP Yoga. He had lost a ton of weight during his time in WWE, but now that he is in AEW and is being used on a regular basis, fans can really tell that he has undergone a transformation. The new combo of a red and black bodysuit and face paint does nothing to distract from the fact that Runnels is leaner and quicker than he has been. His transformation isn't that external per se, but his fitness levels are through the roof, with him keeping up with 30-year-old stars in the prime of their careers with ease. Remember Adam Rose? He was basically what No Way Jose is today, a dancing, goofy undercarder who cannot even seem to buy a win for himself. Before adopting the Adam Rose persona, he went by Leo Kruger in NXT, which really had a far higher probability of achieving success on the main roster. Now, towards the end of his career in WWE, he was suspended by the company for domestic violence and tampering with a witness. He requested to be released and left the company in May of 2016. He hasn't really made much of a splash since leaving, making a few appearances on the independent scene, but not much else. He had his retirement in June this year with Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling. Fans were stunned to see the insane transformation Rose had undergone. He had put on a ton of muscle mass and seemingly doubled in size in contrast to his time in WWE. He has a grown out beard, slicked back hair, and he looks completely unrecognizable. Alexa Bliss has had a year filled with injuries, which has prevented her from gathering any real momentum. Her body image issues and history of battling an eating disorder have been well documented, with Bliss being very public about her struggles and her journey to overcoming her problems and finally reaching a point in her life where she could be happy about the way she looked. In an interview, Bliss stated that she got breast implants when she was 17 as a means of battling her eating disorder. This is a common method of helping treat issues with body image and eating disorders. Bliss was meant to wrestle a marquee match at Evolution last year, but was pulled from in-ring action to deal with some lingering concussion issues. Bliss returned at the Royal Rumble, appearing to have undergone breast enhancement surgery. The goddess herself never actually confirmed whether she got the surgery or not, but from the change in her physique, it's likely she did. John Cena has made two big appearances on WWE programming this year, once to take out Elias at WrestleMania, and then to have a rap battle with the Usos on the special Raw reunion episode of the flagship show back in July. Cena has not been seen on TV since, but according to reports, the leader of the C Nation is excited to be back in a WWE ring once more. With Randy Orton looking for a WrestleMania opponent and challenging Cena, we might see Cena return to TV sometime over the next couple of months. Over the last few years, Cena has managed to turn a lot of his critics into fans by putting on some fantastic matches and losing far more than he's been winning. Cena's change in physique has been noticeable by virtue of the fact that fans don't get to see him on a regular basis. He has lost some muscle definition and is considerably bulkier. This hasn't been a result of Cena not hitting the gym as hard as he should, but rather him dealing with a change in lifestyle. Cena has been questioned about his change in physique, to which he responded that he made the choice to change up his workout routine to deal with his life away from the ring as he gets deeper and deeper into Hollywood. There have been multiple opportunities for The Undertaker to retire over the last few years, but he has kept coming back. The Phenom is still a shell of the performer he once was, but fans still adore him, and with a hefty paycheck for his appearances in Saudi Arabia, the dead man has every reason to keep coming back. His match against Goldberg at Crown Jewel was an absolute botch-filled disaster that could have ended either man's career, but credit where credit is due, Taker seemed to be in much better shape than he was in his match against DX alongside Kane. He was considerably leaner and had a spring in a step we haven't seen in years, even if his match against Goldberg made his match against Giant Gonzalez look like something Dave Meltzer would give 7 stars. The Phenom wanted to prove a point, so he teamed with Roman Reigns to take on the team of Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre in a no-holds-barred match at Extreme Rules. By being used sparingly in the match, Taker was able to hit his best moves with more efficiency. Peyton Royce is a talented performer, but WWE seems hell-bent on booking the Iconics to be cowardly heels who lose way more than they win. This is primarily what caused their championship reign with the women's tag team titles to be terrible. The pathetic booking hasn't seemed to have stopped Royce from putting in the work in the gym, however, as she has gotten significantly leaner over the course of the year, and sports a pretty mean six-pack. Coupled with her recently colored hair, Royce looks like an absolute star and has the potential to be a strong mid-carder in the women's division. If WWE doesn't want to use her, maybe she could try her luck in AEW. Shawn Spears would be more than happy to have his wife working with him in the same promotion. The King of the Ring tournament is meant for building stars, but WWE seems to have forgotten how to actually build a new star over the long term. Chad Gable consistently put in fantastic performances in the tournament, and even though he came up short against Baron Corbin in the finals, he looked like an absolute star, but then WWE booked him into situations where his shortness was the punchline of pathetic jokes, and we've seen it tons of times before, but with Gable now actually going by Shorty G, WWE has resigned him to mid-card purgatory, because no one named Shorty G will ever be taken seriously in the main event. Gable cut off his long locks earlier this year when he appeared on 205 Live and has gotten considerably leaner during his time in the tag team division. Kevin Owens is built nothing like the prototypical WWE star, but is one of the most successful on the entire roster because he is fantastic on the mic and in the ring. Owens spent a few months on the shelf to deal with a knee injury before making his in-ring return back in February. When he came back, he looked considerably different. He had grown out his beard, had gotten a lot more tattoos on his arm, turning it into a sleeve, but most noticeably, Owens had shed a fair amount of weight. Promotions around the world have wanted Owens to lose weight, but the prize fighter hasn't cared because he knows just how good he is. So So it's interesting to wonder if Owens lost weight because of pressure from higher ups in WWE or for health reasons, or if he maybe just felt like it. And these were 10 wrestlers that went through a body transformation this year. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later in the next video.